guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, Shredder and Splinter. We're going to be taking a look at both these new figures and just seeing how they stack up with the previous versions that we got before for the first movie. For the packaging, you can see that the card is exactly the same. You got the Ninja Turtles there in the background, and then you have the open clamshell right here showing the figure and their accessories. On the back, they are both the same. You got all the figures that are currently available, as well as a little bit of a read-up that says, New York City, an old menace returns. New mutations arise. The ultimate showdown approaches. Our heroes must rise up again to save the city they love, even if it means exposing themselves for who they truly are. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, just looking at the figures in the package here, Shredder is a vastly different figure, but Splinter looks exactly the same except for the paint details, and he comes with an extra accessory. But for the packaging, that's about it for these guys. So without further ado, let's get them out here and see how cool they actually are. Alright guys, so here we have the Shredder and Splinter open up and out of their packaging. And starting off first with Splinter, getting Shredder all the way in the back here, just kind of getting him to hang out back there. I'm actually really kind of happy with how this actually turned out. Now, looking at the original one, I don't know. I mean, it is the exact same mold. Nothing to my eyes has changed. The head sculpting looks, that looks the exact same. Well, is it? Yeah, it does look the exact same. I'm just trying to look at some of the extra details. One thing that I'm seeing though is that there's a lot of paint that's on here, so it kind of thickens up some of the detail on here, whereas the new guy here, it kind of looks like the face is just molded in that plastic, and get him to stand. And because it's not painted, you can see some of the details a little bit better. They're not covered up. His little mustache thing here is painted, but his little beard is not. So he's got a black mustache and then a like tan colored beard. I don't know. That's kind of weird. He does come with a little cane kind of accessory. This is the exact same that we got previously here, as you can see. So you do have that as his weapon. It can open up and everything like that, but you do get an extra accessory with it. You know, I mean, in terms of the overall detail, I mean, like I said, I mean, the figure is the exact same looking. I kind of like the paint scheme on the original one a little bit more because it breaks it up a little. I mean, you got, you know, two different tones of color right here. You don't really have that here on the original one, but what you do have on the, or I mean, even still, I mean, like you got this gold paint that's painted around here on the old one. You got the gold paint on there. I mean, that's kind of just painted black. The feet do look a little bit better because obviously you have the straps that are painted on there, whereas his just match the color of his actual foot. So in general, I mean, this is one of those figures where it really is kind of a toss-up, and I don't see it being all that necessary to get a new one. You can see that his eyes are all black, whereas this has, you know, like the whole painted section in there. I just don't see that big of a difference to warrant picking up the new version of the figure. It's kind of disappointing, I mean, in the fact that all these new figures we've gotten so far, they've all been new molds of the characters, and unfortunately Splinter here is the exact same. So it is kind of disappointing in that respect. You do get the cane though, which I guess is kind of neat, but just honestly, I'm not really overly that much impressed on it. The head does rotate. The articulation is the exact same. You got the pin hinge joint here for the elbow. You just have a swivel at the elbow, so you can just rotate that around. It's permanently bent at this angle, and then this one just rotates. The feet do kind of move, but the joint's all the way up there, and you can't really do too much because of the robes and such. I don't even know if his tail's actually articulated, but one thing, I mean, he does seem to stand a little bit better, so I don't know if that's just the molding on there. But now coming to Shredder, one thing that instantly caught my attention is yes, he looks vastly different, but look how long his arms are. I mean, those are really insane long arms. Now he does come with several extra accessories, and you can see that he's a much different looking character. You can take these little bits right here and they just kind of clip onto his arms. So I guess you still have that, you know, Shredder-ish kind of look for him. He does come with a gun, which seems kind of weird because it's the Shredder, you know, and you can have him hold it. But I mean, just look how gorilla-esque his arms are. It's really strange. The overall look on this is terrible. I honestly think you can see his legs kind of bent out. That's one thing that kind of looks really bad on this figure. In terms of his articulation, the head is kind of on a ball joint, so you can kind of rotate that. I don't even know what's going on with the helmet here. I mean, it kind of looks Shredder-esque. He's got these little soft pieces right here on his shoulder that can kind of move when you articulate his arms. They're on those pin hinge joints, so you can move those in and out. They can rotate around. These kind of get out of the way. The elbows just move forward and back on hinges. The wrist on this hand rotates. This one doesn't. Although I want to say that I just feel like I'm about to snap the peg off, so I'm not even going to mess with that, but it is kind of frozen in place there. Nothing at the waist. The hips move forward and back. They rotate out, and you can go like that. And then the knees bend, and then also can rotate around. But this guy just looks terrible. I honestly think he does. I can't get that leg. You're just going to have to bend that. I just think he looks absolutely terrible by comparison to his old self. So if I can get him to stand, putting him here, come on, doesn't like standing because of that weird deformed leg. Here is his old self, and I'm hitting the camera, and I mean, one, you can just see the overall size difference between these figures. I mean, there's a huge size difference here, but this guy just looks so much better, I think. I mean, his articulation is really nice. I mean, he also has the wrist joints here, so all the articulation is basically the exact same. It's just a much cooler look. This doesn't even look like Shredder, honestly, to me. I mean, even when you take these and put these on him, I mean, that's one thing that I'm really not a big fan of in terms of the overall look for the movie yet. We haven't seen Shredder in this, and we see him kind of just walking around without his suit on. So if that's how he's looking, I just really think that this is a much better and cooler Shredder sort of look. I'm just really not happy with this guy at all. Both of these figures, I feel, are kind of letdowns in the fact that they're not really anything better than what we had before. You know, in terms of Shredder, he's actually a step back. Splinter here is kind of on the same, I guess, level as the original one, but I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that we did just get a kind of repaint of him. So ultimately, when it comes down to it, I don't recommend either of these figures. If you have the ones from the previous movie, that's what I would keep in your display. I think that they look just much better and overall just have a better quality feel to them. But if for whatever reason you are interested in picking these guys up, they are available right now at various retail locations. Or as always, there's Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do would be click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS, where you can check out availability on these guys, as well as the rest of the TMNT figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget to please like and comment, and be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you never miss a future review of mine. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.